Oh, it's episode 320, and every 10th episode we do a fan submitted MOCs episode. So this is actually codependent from Bismas Christmas, which is also happening right now, where you can submit your fan submitted MOCs, and I'm doing extra episodes in the month of December for that. So hey, you're getting double the fan submitted MOCs, so hopefully your MOC appears in this episode. So let's take a look at MOCs from across the Bionicle community to give you some inspiration today. The first MOC today is Taga Takua by Powjump. Now yeah, obviously this MOC is taking the original Takua set and turning it into an Elder Turaga, and this mask is just the perfect way of doing that. It's obviously taking notes from the original. We can see things like those 3 fins on the top of the mask, as well as some of these little fins protruding out of the sides, but now they've made them a bit smaller, they've changed the angle of them a little bit here and there, and yeah, it's also combined with a thinned out front area, the mouth part of the mask. To me, it almost looks a little bit like the front area of Turaga Vakama's mask, so it's nice to see a bit of parallels between the two there. So yeah, it's great to see this mask evolving the old one a little bit, but still evoking elements of the original. That was a very good choice to do that on this custom-made mask. I also love the implied cloth that's draped over the neck of Taga Takua here. Now, it's obviously very much in line with the Turaga designs that we see in the Mask of Light Bionicle movie, and I've always thought that aesthetic was just perfect for the Turaga. It's just very fitting for a village elder. Now, seeing it brought to life here with these dark tan Technic panel pieces, that's a lovely choice. It's just the perfect way of conveying that. These pieces appeared on the Star Wars Ultra Build Rey figure. You can see them on the back here. Although you could have just as easily used the cloth pieces that also came on this set, and you probably could have achieved the exact same thing with that. So, hey, if you've got that set lying around, there's 2 different ways that you could convey this exact same look. And yeah, it's a beautiful finishing touch on this Taga Takua MOC. Plus, it's got a solid body design, he's got the perfect elderly man hunch, and what appears to be an excellent amount of posability as well. We can see him in a couple different poses here, and it's doing it with great ease as well, so a fantastic little design here. The Dragon Titan Tumor is up next, and this was built by Bionicle. Now let's compare this revamp of Tumor to the original Tumor set. We can see that Bionicle has used some CCBS pieces that didn't exist at the time when this set originally came out. It's instead using some more modern pieces, breathing new life into Tumor, and giving him a very modern, organic, and very smooth design, which is very much the style of today's Bionicle MOCs, and even some of the more late Bionicle G2 sets as well. These newer upgrades make Tumor look a little bit stronger and a bit more buffed up as well. The arms on the original set are a little bit lankier, whereas here, they're a lot more well-armored, as are the legs as well. And it makes Tumor a bit more of a beefcake, which, I think is quite appropriate for the character and fits the design very well. So yeah, a lot of pros to using CCBS pieces. Now, there's a few minor changes to Tumor's weapon as well. Most notably is this translucent chain piece that's wrapped around the weapon. I like that. It's a nice way of implying maybe energy or some sort of elemental power that's coursing through the weapon and powering it up in some way. But while we're talking about weapon changes, there's also a new edition of these lime and black Skral blades. I think these look really cool as wrist gauntlets, and it also fits Tumor surprisingly well. And it's also some good visual consistency with these back Skral blades that are just protruding out of the back, which of course were present on the original set as well. So yeah, that's a great idea. If you are revamping a pre-existing set, can you take a little design motif or a little weapon choice or, I don't know, something that made the character unique, and then actually continue it a little bit further, or maybe even strip some of it away? Who knows, that might actually be the perfect addition that makes your revamp way cooler. There also appears to be a sticker on this new torso design. I might be wrong, but I think that is an official LEGO sticker, and I believe it's from Ninjago sets. I don't know, I'm kind of guessing there, but it certainly looks like that. And the color of that sticker, it fits well with the color scheme, and it adds a little bit of lime to the torso, so it's a really nice addition there. And hey, I love seeing stickers on MOCs, especially official LEGO stickers. It's just such a great way to add some pops of color, or just that little bit of extra detail. It's cool. So yeah, one of my favorite things to see Bionicle sets reimagined with modern CCBS pieces. It always looks lovely. I believe this next MOC is called Shawa, and this is built by Trev Gard. And yeah, it's a cool looking shark character. It's always awesome to see more animalistic designs like this, and I really love all the creative ways that they've managed to convey this shark aesthetic. So right off the bat, the tail and the head design use this silver wing drone piece. Now these appeared on Stormer XL as the armor that you could kind of pop off, and then it could become a little like scouting drone. At least I'm pretty sure that that was how that was advertised. That's how I remember playing with the set anyway, but, you know, they certainly looked like little scouting drones, even if that wasn't the original idea for the set. But still, using that piece here, it works incredibly well in this water context. And I don't know, I wouldn't have expected that piece to work well in this way. You know, it's a more robotic style piece, and suddenly it's working for an aquatic character. It's not something you'd expect, but hey, sometimes that's what happens with Lego pieces. You wouldn't expect it to work, and yet it's the perfect addition. You just gotta try it. The Lego building process is all about trial and error, so hey, next time you're building something, grab a random piece, see if it works. If it doesn't, continue the process until it does work. So yeah, that piece looks a bit like a hammerhead shark or a shark tail, but then we've got some of these other shark fin vibes going on with the use of this silver wing piece. So now we got two different fins in varying sizes. Of course, this specific fin piece, it appeared on a couple of the different Toa Mystica sets. I know it came in red in Onawa Mystica, but of course it came in silver in Gully Mystica. But once again, these have a wonderful aquatic look to them that continues the shark vibe very nicely. And I dare say that the leg armor here, these silver Skrull armor pieces that actually appeared in silver on Kopaka Uniter's shoulder design, like we can see here, yeah, I think the coloration of this piece, as well as the lines and the rough shape of this piece, it all kind of works together again to continue that shark aesthetic. Now, this doesn't really look like any actual part of a shark. You know, those other pieces look like either a hammerhead shark's head or the fins of a tail or the actual fins or the dorsal fin, whatever you want to call it. But something about the energy of this piece really just screams shark for me. I don't know if you feel the same thing when you see it, but to me it's got that sort of rhythm and energy to it. So it's a perfect addition. So sure, all those pieces make that shark aesthetic just perfect, but there's a lot of other stuff to love about this MOC, including the great color scheme and this what appears to be posable design. I love how the tail is acting like a little tripod there so they can get some extra oomph out of those poses there. Very, very cool. Lots to love about this MOC. Toa Motora, Mangai of Stone, was built here by the Overheating Orange. Now, it's always a pleasure to see AFOLs mixing themes together and combining it with Bionicle. And one of the coolest classic LEGO themes here, Rock Raiders, is being combined with Bionicle, and it is a winning combination. Now, Rock Raiders, of course, if you weren't familiar with it, it was an older theme where a bunch of Rock Raiders, some collective dudes, came together to mine energy crystals to power their ship, but they had to fight off rock monsters along the way. And yeah, given that context, it seems to be the perfect fit for a Toa of Earth, or in this case, a Toa of Stone. I guess it works for either type of Toa there. But the best part is the color scheme of Rock Raiders sets. You had brown, you had dark grey, teal, hints of yellow, and a few other colors as well. And it's just such a pretty combination of colors. And seeing it brought to life on a Toa, it's just magical. You know, we spoke before on the Tumor MOC that we covered that it was using newer pieces to bring to life an older character. Well, this build is using older pieces to bring to life a newly imagined character. You know, we've got leg pieces in old grey here that appeared as, well, the exact same leg pieces on the classic Rakshi sets. And then we have the feet pieces from Onawa Mata being used to form an epic-looking shoulder design. That's a great little design there. And then we also have the brown Borok weapon piece slapped onto the front of the torso. Another great look. Now, all these pieces were from the early 2000s, but yeah, they all have this wonderful old age feel to them. You know, they're a little bit more detailed and a little bit more robotic looking. Yeah, we spoke about it previously, but you know, modern CCBS pieces have that more organic and smooth, like natural look to them. So it's nice to see some of these old classic pieces brought back into the spotlight, because yeah, you know, they have such a more detail-focused, greeble-heavy, mechanical-like design that's just so old school and honestly so refreshing to see, because you kind of just don't see it these days. And part of that's down to a lot of builders just don't maybe have access to some of these older pieces. But yeah, seeing a MOC that really leans into that aesthetic and into those older pieces, it's a bit of a breath of fresh air. I love it. Toa Trilos, the Iron Fist of the Toa, is up next, and this is built by Epically Evil. So in some of these images, we've got a big power glove thing on their arm, but in this shot here, we can see that they don't have an arm at all. I love that. You know, this dude's missing an arm, but it allows him to then attach on all these different arm attachments that can become weapons. Now, there's only one that's being pictured, but I guess if you really wanted to, you could give them a whole array of different weapons, which is a cool idea, but you know, for now, they've only got one, that's fine. And yeah, this asymmetrical design of regular hand and the big power weaponized glove thing, That's awesome. And I love this image here where they're placing some kind of like power crystal into the glove, and I guess that gives it power or it charges it up or something. It's just a fun concept. Now, the other weapon here looks just as unique and just as interesting. It's got this nice circular design to it, so maybe it could be thrown, or it could be like a shield, or maybe a little smaller melee weapon as well. It's great. Plus, got some nice brown cloth on the waist, looks wonderful, as does the rest of the MOC as well. There's some good concepts in this, I really enjoy it. This next MOC is called Blair, and it's built by username Red. Oh, just real quick, I love this Surge mask. Obviously I love the Surge mask. It's my profile picture and the logo of this channel and all that stuff, but I just adore this specific variant of the mask. Because, you had your typical Surge mask, but in the Brain Attack version of Surge, you had that visor over the mask because, every character in the wave had that visor that went over the mask, and as a result, they needed a kind of altered version of the mask that could accommodate for that. But the way they changed up that Surge mask, even when it doesn't have the visor over the top, it just looks so good. Sorry, I know that's a little bit off topic, but I just needed to quickly mention that because that mask is dope. Anyway, the MOC. So it's got a more slim and agile look to it, thinner limbs, a skinnier body. Yeah, they look very fast, flexible, very mobile, or kind of speedy as well. Now, I've always thought the aesthetic of that specific Surge mask, or any of the Surge masks, has that sense of, speed to it. I guess with the name Surge, it implies a level of, electricity, fast, all that kind of stuff. So I think going for a skinnier proportions here, or at least a design that looks like they're very agile and nimble, yeah, that's a good choice. Nimble? Nimble. Nimble is the word, not why did I say nimble? Anyway, lots of weapons on this dude. He's got a really great sense of being kind of like a rogue-like character, running on rooftops, stabbing dudes, fighting off bad guys. It's great. Plus gold and blue, always a winning color combination. Very nice work. And we'll finish off the episode with Makuta Teridax, otherwise known as Ultimate DUME by Ibeki. Ultimate DUME. It was a great set and was the second interpretation of Makuta Teridax that we got as an actual set, although it was more of a combiner set, this one specifically. But it's great here to see somebody reimagine this character and give it a little bit of extra love, because, sometimes when we compare it to the official set, the official set wasn't that pretty. Now, granted, this is not the best image of Ultimate Doom. There's better images out there that make the set look a little bit better, but still, it could certainly benefit from an upgrade. Now, certainly one reason the set could benefit from some upgrades is the fact that the original set, like I briefly mentioned before, was a combo model where you combined the set Nadiki and Kreka, and then Nivok and Doom. You combine those sets together, and you get this combo model. But it was also sold as an actual set where you essentially just got the pieces for those sets as well as an additional bonus mask, and then you could build Ultimate Doom. But, given that it was only working with those pieces, the set was a little limited on how much could be done. But let's talk about some of those improvements. Now, the original set just had red fingers, and that's because those were the only pieces that were available to achieve a finger design, and they happened to be red. So it kind of clashes with the rest of the set, unfortunately. But Ibeki has turned that into this awesome, fire fist design. So now it looks like they're charging up some kind of attack, and suddenly it feels a little bit more inclusive with the rest of the actual build. It's not just kind of thrown in there for the sake of, we only had these pieces, When we look at the wings, we can see that it is actually pretty similar to the original one. The main change is the feathers, if you can call them that, I guess they are. They are now all uniform and they're the exact same piece. And I think that actually works well, especially because the wings now appear to be a lot more posable than the original set was. And there's this cool shot here where they kind of flare out over the shoulders, and it looks like they're almost some sort of shield now, adding some kind of defensive protection or something like that, or maybe even they can kind of flutter around and be used as a cutting attack or something. It's cool. There's also a new foot design, which looks way more menacing than the original set. The original set didn't look that great there with the feet, but this, much better. And also it continues the clawed aesthetic that we see on the dark green and silver hand, so some nice overall consistency there. Plus, a more spiky aesthetic, it certainly makes sense for Makuta Teridax. He is the main evil villain of the Bionicle storyline. If he's a bad guy, makes sense he's going to have a lot of spikes over the body, so that's a great choice there. Now, overall, I love the fact that this MOC is continuing the original color scheme. You could have easily stripped away a bunch of these colors and just had it be dark blue, black, maybe with hints of green or something, and it probably would have looked awesome. But I like the fact they went, no, this is how the original set looked, let's make this work. And they made it work so well. The final thing, the mask change. Now, it might be my favorite inclusion. This uses a custom Krakan Makuta mask. This one has some trans light blue molding into the design. It's a lovely little addition there. But the best part is they've added some teeth underneath that mask. And these teeth, they are a little bit more modest compared to the teeth seen on the original set. And if I'm honest, I think this more stripped back, smaller scale design is a little bit better. It's a lot better. So it certainly continues that menacing look, and it looks really cool. So that's it for some fan-submitted mocks. There was a lot of good ones today, and hopefully your mock appeared. If not, stay tuned. We got plenty more fan-submitted mocks episodes coming out in the month of December. If you'd like to see your mocks featured on the show, you can submit them through the submission email that's currently on your screen right now. Be sure to check the pinned video at the front of my YouTube channel, and you can watch the video there that teaches you everything you need to know and some frequently asked questions for how to submit your mocks. So if you have any questions, they'll be answered there. Also, be sure to check the links in the description to see all the links to the social media of the builders that you saw today. Be sure to go follow them, leave a like, go comment on their mocks, and let them know your thoughts, because hey, they built some awesome stuff, and they certainly deserve the attention that you can give them. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Happy building, and bye for now.